sodomites doing here on the forest? This reminds me of when I was a little girl in my village thousands of miles away, and the adventures we used to have then. Would you like me to tell you a story?
Yes, please, nice lady.
Right then. Now, where's my book with my stories? Ah, here it is. I'm going to tell you a story about two children about your age. On an island far, far away, where the sun shines brightly and the lovely blue ocean waves in and out, and the lovely seashells that you could pick up, there lived these two children, Roy and Sita. They lived with their grandmother in a house on a hill, surrounded by large trees and beautiful colored flowers. Roy and Sita's favorite trees were the fruit trees that they could climb up or throw stones at to get juicy mangoes, plums, and other tropical fruits. School days was a time of freedom and adventure, roaming in the warm sun around the village or playing by the clear running river, which had a magical appeal for children. Although parents were constantly warning them of the dangers of playing by the river. One Saturday morning, after their breakfast, their grandmother Margaret gave them their task for the day and told them their aunt next door was to give them lunch and keep an eye on them. Sita and Roy completed their task, had their lunch, and decided whilst Grandma was away, they'd go and play by the river and get home before Grandma returned. Then she wouldn't know where they'd been. They left the house by the back gate so they couldn't be seen by their aunt. They went down a long dirt lane with tall trees, rugged undergrowth, and creeping, twisting vines. By now, they were out of breath and decided to rest for a while before continuing on their adventure. Once rested, they walked along the winding road, passing the sugarcane fields, when suddenly a fluffy-tailed mongoose ran across the road onto the underground. Roy and Sita excitedly started running towards the sound of the river, bending under a wire fence and running along the riverbank. They arrived at their favorite place by the river, where water flows over stones and pebbles make enchanting and magical sounds. All along the riverbank grew mango trees loaded with fruits in varying stages of ripeness, hanging on branches that bent earthwise with the weight. They picked and ate many sweet, juicy mangoes. That afternoon, it was as if they were taken over by river fairies. They forgot about time as they strolled and played along the riverbank, walking further and further away from where they started their adventure that afternoon. They were enchanted by the plants and flowers and pretty hummingbirds flying from flower to flower, collecting nectar. They watched in wonder as small fishes swam in shallow pools, while crabs darted in and out of the riverbank, and still they walked on. Suddenly, they realized they were lost and frightened and began to cry. Holding hands for comfort, they shouted and shouted for help. When Grandma Margaret returned from the market and was told Roy and Sita had not been seen all afternoon, the village people soon raised a search party. Meanwhile, Roy and Sita was brought home by a farmer who had heard them calling for help as he was crossing the river on his way home from the plantation. Grandma Margaret was very cross with Roy and Sita for disobeying her, but she was so pleased they were safe. She hugged them both, gave them something to eat with a cup of chocolate, and tucked them safely in bed. Now you two, curl up and go to sleep. I'll watch over you till daybreak.